Here I am, Gaius, a soldier of Rome, seated on the rough earth of Hadrian's wall, my gladius resting in my hands, a trusted companion, even in the stillness of this downpour. The patter of rain against the leather skin of my tent is a symphony of nature, each droplet a tiny messenger whispering secrets from the heavens. I let my fingertips glide over the smooth edge of the blade, the faint scent of oil mixing with the earthy aroma of dampened soil and sodden wood, grounding me in this sheltered cocoon. It is as if the rain has invited the very essence of the wilds to embrace me, reminding me of the untamed world that lies just beyond the thin fabric, shrouded in shadows. The flickering light of a single oil lamp dances across the canvas walls, casting gentle shadows that sway and twist like phantoms. The glow warms the insides of my tent and mingles with the scent of heat from the protective lamp, a reminder of hearths much like my own back in Tuscany. I close my eyes for a moment, allowing the flickering light to guide me into the memories of home, where laughter mingled with sunlight and honeyed aromas lingered longer than the shadows of dusk. Outside, the rhythmic drumming of rain creates a calming rhythm, a metronome for my thoughts. It drowns out any lingering concerns of the fortress we defend, the lives entwined with ours. My brothers in arms rest just beyond the fabric walls, their breaths creating a rhythm that echoes softly around me, a melody to accompany the relentless roar of the storm. Each resounding breath is a reminder of the shared spirit that binds us in this treacherous terrain, anchoring me closer to a sense of belonging, even as the night stretches endlessly around us. My gladius, resting on my lap, feels familiar and comforting against the roughness of the earth. I allow my fingers to trace the intricate designs along its hilt, craftsmanship encapsulated in every curve and angle of steel. I think about its purpose, as a guardian of peace, a promise of loyalty to Rome and, perhaps more importantly, to my fellow soldiers. Each polished stroke of the whetstone gliding against the blade echoes with intention, yet it is more than mere duty. It is a meditation, a connection forged amidst the clamor of a world that will not quiet. The whetstone glides across the steel with a soothing sound, low and rhythmic, a serenade that echoes in the spaces between the rain's relentless pattering. I feel its coolness through my fingers, a solid anchor in this shifting landscape of shadows. As I work, I find myself wandering back to my family's modest hearth, the tangible warmth of twilight settling in our home. I can almost hear my mother's voice, sweet and calming, as she stirs a pot of farro, her laughter blending harmoniously with the crackling of the fire. Beyond her, the fields are painted in vibrant greens, and children's laughter dances with the wind. I wonder what our village looks like now under this same rain. Do the rooftops gleam with weathered charm, just as I remember? Does the dusk settle over familiar faces, or have time and tide swept them into new stories, new echoes? The thought makes me wistful. Perhaps it is the night, or the steady rhythm of the rain, that invites reflection. I remember the camaraderie in the village square, where tales of gods were exchanged between sips of cheap wine, and the laughter of friends hung thick in the air. The canvas walls breathe with the life of the storm, a gentle tempest wrapping me in its embrace. As I continue guiding the stone across the blade, there is a serene determination in my hands, shaping the steel, forming my purpose with every careful movement. As I continue guiding the stone across the blade, there is a serene determination in my hands, shaping the steel, forming my purpose with every careful movement. And so, I sit here, cradled in the protective shadow of my tent, as the rain whispers its timeless secrets, and the world beyond falls into dreams. I surrender to the gentle lull of night, watching as shadows morph and swirl, cradling my thoughts of home. And in this humble sanctuary, I find peace, not as a soldier of Rome, but simply as Gaius, a man dreaming beneath the embrace of the storm. The rain patters softly against the stretched leather of my tent, a gentle percussion that fills the air, each droplet a caress against the fabric holding me safe from the wildness outside. The rhythmic dance of the rain is a reminder of the untamed frontier beyond the confines of my temporary shelter. A landscape where nature reigns supreme, both beautiful and fierce in its ways. It stirs something within me, an ache for the familiar and the comfortable. It pulls thoughts of home to the forefront of my mind, as vivid and tangible as the whispers of wind that sneak under the edges of my tent. My heart fills with longing for the hills of Tuscany, where the morning light filters through olive groves, casting dappled shadows upon the earth. I can almost see my mother working in our modest garden, her hands skilled and graceful as she caresses the soil, coaxing life and sustenance from the ground. In those sun-soaked days, the world felt less frantic. There, each drop of rain was a hope for growth. Here, each drop is a reminder of my vulnerability, as the storm quietly rages, wrapping its arms around our encampment with both love and ferocity. I close my eyes for a moment, allowing the soundscape to wash over me, drowning out the clamor of soldiers' thoughts and fears swirling in the depths of the night. The murmur of distant thunder rolls through the atmosphere, an ominous yet tranquil reminder of nature's indomitable will, something we, in our rigid formation under Rome's banner, often try to suppress. It rumbles like a sleeping giant, a voice that declares its existence despite our authority, my existence. I cannot help but smile at the alignment of those thoughts.
As I unroll my cloak, the damp scent of wool drifts upward, mingling with the warm, smoky fragrance that emanates from the flickering oil lamp. The rich aroma weaves itself into my awareness, grounding me, enveloping me in its embrace.
It is a comfort in this foreign land, a thread linking me to the hearth of home. The play of light from the lamp dances softly against the canvas walls of the tent, casting delicate shadows that sway and twirl, mirroring the whispers of the storm outside. Together, the oil's warmth and the wool's earthiness cultivate a sanctuary for my weary spirit amid the chaos of our lives. Now, breathing steadily, I let the world outside dissolve. My hands rest on my gladius, tempered steel, cool against my palm yet radiating strength. I commit to memory the weight of it, a constant reminder of purpose, connection, and sacrifice. As the rain taps steadily, I allow myself to think of the bonds I share with my brothers in arms, of whom deep sleep grants them shelter from the tumult beyond our shared canvas. Each breath resonates within me, a shared heartbeat against the tempest. I can feel their presence even when shadows cast by the lamp obscure the details of their sleep. The thrum of life outside thickens the air, an enchantment mixing with the petrichor that rises from the saturated earth. The scent reminds me of quiet afternoons spent in our village square, where laughter and the clattering of wooden shields against the cobblestones readied our minds for the tales of gods and heroes. I lean into those recollections, tasting the sweetness of friendships perched on the brink of adventure, their significance magnified by the distance separating our shared stories, and the silence I now exist within. Yet some of those stories carry the gravity of choices made under the shifting light of fateful moments, a weight I've learned to bear as a soldier. My thoughts drift toward the men beyond the thin canvas walls, what dreams they embrace in sleep, what ghosts linger in their hearts. Do they long for home, as I do, or do they find solace in the raging storm? I find myself wondering if they too hear the unsettling whispers of doubt arise within the heart's quiet chamber, or if they drift seamlessly into untroubled dreams. The deluge outside intensifies, murmuring its song with renewed vigor, and I am grateful for the shelter that envelops me, a thin yet steadfast barrier against the wild, endless night. It's in moments like this that I feel the complexities of existence merge. I am a soldier, yes, bound by duty, yet I am also a son, a brother, a friend, and a seeker of quiet truths. With each raindrop that thuds softly against my tent, I revisit the teachings of my father, his voice a gentle nudge woven through the fabric of my thoughts. Discipline, Gaius. Hold fast to it, he often said, a mantra that has guided me through the trials of my young life. And here, amid the sound of the rain, I understand anew the weight of those words. They pull at me like an anchor, reminding me of the purpose behind this wall I have helped build, a solid boundary that serves as both a defense and a promise of security for those within our empire. I remind myself that our work, despite its tribulations, contributes to something grand and enduring, an empire striving towards civilization even in the chaos around us. The rain continues its soothing cadence, and I nestle deeper into the warmth of my cloak, feeling its soft fibers ripple against my skin like the embrace of a mother. This is a moment suspended in time, where fears dissipate like mist under the first light of dawn. The world outside fades, and with the quiet ambiance wrapping around me, I focus on the filament of connection that spans the perceived distance between my heartbeat and the thudding footsteps of our ancestors, those who've tread these lands before. In the ever-changing dance of shadows and light, my gladius gleams softly before me, a dormant strength awaiting my call. I come to appreciate this moment more fully. Each rhythm of rain upon the leather tent merges with the gentle flickering of light and aroma filling the air. These intimate sensations shift the narrative within me, stitching together the soldier I am with the man I hope to become. I gently stroke the blade with reverence, feeling its shape and contours become a part of my own anatomy, something that defines my place here. As gratitude washes over me, I allow myself to indulge further in the delicate tapestry of my thoughts. Here, in this canvas haven, I find solace in shared silence, unspoken bonds woven through the night and the storm that rumbles beyond. Though I am physically present here on the edge of the empire, there lingers a soft whisper of hope, reminding me that we traverse far greater journeys than this. In the gentle embrace of the night, surrounded by the echoes of distant thunder and the steadfast patter of rain, I drop my shoulders and slowly allow the lingering worries to slip away. Tonight's storm embraces my reflection, and as I surrender to the quiet, I can feel myself exhaling the burdens of armor worn throughout the day. Each droplet that falls against leather lulls me deeper into an understanding that stretches beyond the horizon of my soldier's heart. As the hours slip into a soft slumber, the realm of dreams becomes an inviting tapestry woven with threads of home, friendship, and quiet resolve. With my gladius firmly by my side, and surrounded by the comforts of bonds forged through shared struggle, I lean into the stillness of waiting for dawn, my heart warming with the promise of a new day on the horizon. The rhythmic scraping of the whetstone against my gladius draws my focus gradually, pulling me away from the damp canvas of the tent that confines my physical form, and into a far-off world that feels as distant as the sun itself. Each stroke of the stone against the steel blade carries the echo of memories, images etched in the recesses of my mind, vivid yet tinged with a bittersweet longing. The sharp sound is almost musical, a steady note that resonates within the quiet chambers of my heart, keeping me anchored even as my thoughts drift to my family. I can almost see my mother's silhouette, bent over our hearth in Tuscany, surrounded by the flickering light of the fire's warm embrace. The scent of farro bubbling in the pot envelops me, each waft of steam hiding the complexity of labor, love, and a touch of her care that seasoned our meals. At that moment, I can taste the earthiness of the grain, the way it fills the belly and nourishes the soul. Those are the soft comforts of home, the laughter that occasionally bounces off the stone walls, the sound of my father's deep voice weaving through stories of ancient heroes and gods, as we gathered around the table, bonded through shared meals and quiet moments. The rain outside continues to patter softly, a gentle percussion that accompanies my thoughts. Each droplet strikes the taut leather of the tent's exterior like a musician plucking a string, mothering an unpredictable symphony that washes through my mind and urges me to release the weight of my duties, if only for a moment. I am ever so grateful to be enveloped in this small sanctuary, while the storm rages beyond. It means that for now, the distance to the rest of my life is merely a veil of weather, separable, tangible, yet ethereal. Just beyond the thin canvas walls, my brothers in arms lay asleep, their breaths rising and falling in a steady manner, an orchestra of dutiful hearts. I can hear them even now. Theirs are the visceral sounds of life, punctuated by the occasional whisper of dreams that seem to survive and flourish in this realm of rigorous routine. I imagine their own memories drifting like smoke from a fire, perhaps thoughts of loved ones scattered throughout Rome, or villages similar to my own, where life thrives under sunlit skies, rather than here, encased in the shadows of history's tasks. The sensation that sweeps over me is soothing, a melding of camaraderie that binds us like the layers of this earth beneath us. brothers forged in trial and honor, the respective hues of our journeys mingling under the weight of our shared purpose. The rain, which sounds like a muted applause, washes over us, and there is a comfort knowing we are not alone here, even within our solitude. I pause for a moment, allowing the whetstone to rest against the blade, and I tilt my head back slightly to absorb the scents blanketing me. The aroma of damp wool clings to my cloak as my fingers brush its familiar textures. Memorable, each thread woven into the fabric holds a story of endurance through both rain and sun. The fragrances mingle in the air with the gentle warmth of the oil from the lamp, a potent reminder of moments when we gathered, when we shared fears, joys, and the quiet understanding that formed in the most unadorned of exchanges. They remind me of the ember-like charm of our bond, similar to the glow of the flickering lamp illuminating our space, chasing away the darkness, if only temporarily. Reflecting on the fields of vibrant green that surround our home, I savor each detail that emerges in my mind's eye. I can see the way the sun sets the earth afire, each blade of grass shimmering under the golden light. I remember how freedom feels tied to those fields, the exhilaration of chasing after a sunbeam, while the air sparkles with scents of sweet wildflowers swaying gently in the breeze. Butterflies dance around them, unfurling their wings in brilliant displays of color, as life abounds around our modest dwelling. But those days feel nearly washed away by the bonds of responsibility I now bear, stretched thin against the backdrop of this rigid encampment. Thoughts inscribe an ache that is soft and melancholic, the longing for simplicity where untroubled laughter runs wild like the rivers, unhindered and free. I remember the songs my sister used to sing, dulcet notes that wafted over the fields, the fragrant offerings of the earth at harvest time. Each echo serves as a reminder of the life that pulses just outside the boundaries of my duty, their gentle resonance urging me to remain grounded, even under the weight of my armor. I return to my gladius, the steel now bearing the soft sheen of a sharpened edge, a symbol of the dedication that infuses every moment of training, every remembered moment of honor. Each pass of the stone speaks of my intent, a commitment to protect, to stand guard over those I love, and those who bear arms with me. The texture of the stone is abrasive, yet assured beneath my fingers, like the trials that have shaped me over the years, moments that have imbued my character with the tenacity to endure whatever waits beyond the shadow of Hadrian's wall. The invigorating scent of the crystal rain diffuses through the air, brushing past me softly, filling every nook and cranny of this humble abode, a friendly reminder of how interconnected we all are, even from a distance. The storm is wild and untamed beyond our thin walls, but here, in this intimate space, I find solace. My heart beats in time with the cadence of the flowing water, and for a fleeting moment, I surrender to the stillness, allowing the familiarity of old memories to soothe the weight of duty pressing upon me. A final sweep of the whetstone grants clarity as I conclude my ritual. The blade has met its purpose with fidelity. I lean back, resting my gladius against the earth, and close my eyes, letting the gentle murmurs from beyond wash over me. I take a long breath, surrendering to the embrace of heavenly scents, earthy, filigreed with the sweetness of my memories. The world outside is alive, yet here within my sanctuary, I hold the fragments of my family close. I let myself dream of home, allowing the shuffle of thoughts to meld with the heartbeat of my comrades, their breaths a tether to the grounding reality that forms around me like an embrace. Tonight, the raindrops lull me into a serenity that's fleeting yet profound, wrapping me in promise beneath a tapestry woven from the threads of my life thus far. Or remind myself that this moment is but a pause, a calm before the next wave, a promise intertwined in the storm, inviting memories to cradle me gently, like a mother holding a child, a tender whisper into the depths of night. With each mindful stroke I lend to the steel with my whetstone, I allow my mind to drift back to the familiarity of home, to that place where life flowed more easily, unchained from the grim responsibilities I now carry on these unforgiving borders. The rhythm of my movements is almost meditative, the abrasive but comforting texture of the stone against the blade guiding me deeper into my reverie. I close my eyes, and in the dark behind my eyelids the world of my youth unfolds like a well-loved scroll. I can almost hear the distant joyous cries of children echoing from the village square, a place where laughter fills the open air, until it spills over like the rivers of our bountiful lands. The notes of their delight reach me with profound clarity, as vivid as the hues of the midday sun, that danced upon the golden fields of Tuscany. I recall the small faces, flushed with excitement, darting about the square in a blur of energy. They remind me of my own childhood, of the games we played and the tales we crafted as we lounged on the grassy banks. In the midst of these cherished memories, I can almost picture my friends gathered around a low wooden table, the air thick with the scent of spiced wine and the alluring aroma of freshly baked bread. I remember the camaraderie that enveloped us, fingers grasped tightly around earthen cups as we shared the warmth of laughter, voices mingling together in a rich tapestry of sound. My friend Marcus, with his boisterous personality, would never fail to tell tales of the gods, each tale spun with a theatrical flair that drew us all into his world, where divine beings danced before our eyes. His hands would gesture dramatically, the flicker of light from our oil lamp casting playful shadows upon his animated features. We would erupt with laughter, teasing him for the embellishments, yet inwardly captivated by the thread of fascination he wove. Today, as I sit here in this austere place, this assembly of soldiers seeking to tame untamed lands, what once felt so light now presses upon my chest. Tonight that lightness feels heavy. I feel the pull of duality. The soldiers' resolve on one side and the crumbling warmth of nostalgia on the other. The cold night air, sweeping through the gap in the tent flap, collides with the gentle warmth emitted by my oil lamp, creating an embrace that hums with the raw purity of crisp rain, interwoven with the lingering scent of the oil. It's a blend that demands to be savored, a reminder that tenderness persists even amidst chaos. As I pass the whetstone once more along the blade, I draw my breath more slowly, content to let this meditative ritual seep into my thoughts. The soft rasp of stone against steel resonates like the heartbeat of life. Each stroke is an echo of my thoughts and memories, blurring into visions of my mother hunched over our hearth, her hands deftly stirring a pot of thick farro stew. The scent of rich herbs wafting from her diligent fingers can still perfume the air of my mind, mingling with the aroma of freshly baked bread that she would slide from the oven, golden crust warm and inviting. The joy of family around that modest table is not lost. It lingers, swaying gently alongside the storm outside, a balm for my wandering spirit. In reflective silence, I find strength in solitude, strengthening my resolve to discharge my duties, to rise above the weight of distant memories. The flickering light in my tent casts shadows that dance like specters on the walls, reminding me of the fleeting nature of our brief existence. Here I am but one thread in the expansive fabric of history, interwoven along with the tales of my forefathers who ventured into uncharted territories to secure this vast empire. Outside, the rain continues its rhythmic symphony, a gentle cascade that seeps into the earth beyond my flimsy walls. It calls to me, entwining my thoughts with the very essence of the land. I can hear drops hitting the leaves, the soft ground, the rooftops of the encampment, each sound forming a chorus of continuity that transcends time. Sometimes, in moments like this, I long to be a part of that perpetual cycle, my feet planted firmly upon the soil of my ancestors, where the unfurling petal of each new morning awaited to greet me. I find solace as my gladius, after much care, transitions from a weary, oft-used instrument into a resplendent emblem of honor beneath my fingertips. I pause, admiring the sheen that now catches the warm glow of the lamp. The light almost seems to dance upon its surface, illuminating not only the weapon's form but also the essence of the truth I seek to uphold. Here in this dim sanctuary of canvas and quietude, I am reminded that strength is not solely in the blade's sharp edge but also in the intentions behind it. Glancing around me, I take in the subtle yet profound beauty that breathes life into my surroundings. My comrades lie enveloped in the arms of sleep just beyond the thin canvas guard, each one forged by the same unyielding spirit that ignites my own heart. Their shapes cast in peaceful repose remind me that we are not alone in this endeavor. We carry with us the warmth of shared burdens and the promise of companionship as we navigate the complexities of our world. The scents swirl with every gentle breeze that wafts through the tent, filling my senses, damp wool from my cloak, remnants of farro wafting from my memories, intertwined with the scent of fresh rain that carries the wild essence of the forests sprawled just outside our fortress. They mingle together, crafting a sanctuary for my daydreams and heartaches alike. In the quiet of night, I find unity within longing, weaving the scent-laden tapestry of my past with the present, each thread a testament to my commitment to these men, to my family that awaits back home, and to the Rome we are sworn to protect.
I continue to glide the whetstone along the edge, steady and rhythmic, filled with a gentle grace. Each turn brings a silent whisper to my heart, a reminder that the burden I bear is not without purpose. In these hushed hours, I choose to embrace not merely the soldier I must be, but the man I aspire to become, a blend of conviction and tenderness, captivated by a desire to nurture both land and love. The rawness of the rain calls to me, urging me to engage with the chaos outside, yet I remain sheltered in this cocoon of introspection, gradually shedding the weight of my armor.
As the flickers of the lamp begin to dwindle, a calm envelops me, a sense of surrender to the endless night beyond that croons softly with the rain. My heart, weary yet steadfast, finds peace in knowing that storms may come and go, both beneath and above the shimmering layer of stars. The world is vast and unpredictably beautiful, an intricate tapestry sewn with threads of hope and duty. And so, as the rain kisses the earth and my gladius rests at my side, I step into the realm of restful slumber, cradled by the embrace of the soothing sounds that whisper promises of another day. The gentle rhythm of water falling transforms into lullabies, inviting me to dream of home where laughter merges with the stories yet untold. Wrapped in this delicate cocoon of warm memories and steadfast loyalty, I drift away, stitched into the very fabric of time. In the flickering light, I catch glimpses of my hands, calloused yet gentle, the fingers stained with the oil of the lamp and marks of wear, from days spent enduring arduous drills and night watches. As I hold my gladius, I can feel the cool steel beneath my fingertips, an extension of my will, loyal and steadfast. The flickering oil lamp throws shapes across the canvas walls, creating moving silhouettes that seem to dance in unison with the troubled tinges of my thoughts. Each flicker pulls me in closer, and for a moment, I am lost deep within its glow. And proscoord suit polwen a fordemoude and wordconverholle him ment en saudist. At the sitting fanwas, I ponder our progressant. At what could I work to soften into fixed and English super unpicted. I ponder our purpose here at the edge of the empire, where this wall rises from the earth, a monument of stone and labor standing like a bulwark against the wild. Our tasks are simple: to guard, to protect, to live among the whispers of history. And I find myself questioning, what does it signify for those beyond its reach? What stories do the winds carry across the hills and forests, mingling with the untamed spirits that dwell far from our orderly ranks? The thought drifts gently, like autumn leaves upon a murmuring stream, as my thoughts swim through these turbulent waters of quiet contemplation. The rain continues its sacred serenade upon the stretched leather of my tent, each droplet a delicate percussion against our fragile sanctuary. I close my eyes and listen. The rhythm envelops me like a lullaby, punctuated only by the soft shuffle of my comrades' breaths outside. Those breaths, a steady cadence, offer a balm for my wanderlust mind, grounding me with their very existence. Each inhale and exhale reminds me of our shared bond, tethered together amidst the chaos of this swirling world. What chaos do my brethren contend with just beyond my embrace of silent reflection? Do they hear the distant roar of the tempest demanding their attention, urging them to abandon the warmth of camaraderie for the chill of uncertainty? I imagine them on the other side of this wall, meeting the wildness of nature with the fervor of loyalty. I remember their faces, weary yet steadfast, etched with stories of grit and determination, each one a unique thread in the tapestry of our lives stitched by fate. I draw the whetstone across the blade once more, feeling the subtle resistance as it glides against the steel. This rhythmic act of devotion becomes my rhythm too, mediating between my interior thoughts and the outside world's pulse. The smell of oil mingles with the damp earth, filling my lungs with a warmth reminiscent of home. I've breathed deeply in the kitchen of my childhood, surrounded by pots bubbling and tantalizing aromas that spoke of frailty and love. Each stroke toward perfection is a meditation through which I reflect on the weight of responsibility we carry, not only for ourselves but for those who count on us to shield them from the tempest beyond our embattled sanctuary. In flickering moments I think of my family, their laughter echoing like distant bells softly pealing through an olive grove, the sun casting playful daubs against our warm Tuscan stone. There was a warmth in sharing a meal, passing around freshly baked bread, the sweet yielding of gifts from the earth, kissed by the sun, nature's bounty intertwined with the spirit of our homes. Oh, how I miss the shared tales that fashioned our bonds. much more profound than mere words. In those moments I felt invincible, the heartbeats of loved ones synchronizing with my own. Here the scent of rain and oil spirals into whispers, merging memories of home with the rough edge of my current existence. I sense the piercing weight of duty gnawing at my thoughts. This wall before me is a shield and yet a reminder of the lives just beyond its stone embrace, lives that are fraught with shadow, unbridled chaos, where our roles as soldiers become heavy with the asking of what we must confront. My thoughts find clarity. We are both warriors and guardians, both architects and laborers of peace in a land determined by conflict and caprice. I can almost hear the gentle rippling flow of the streams that serenade the vast wilderness outside. Where brave souls navigate the unpredictable twists of their lives, what hopes do they carry in their hearts? Perhaps they too have families tucked away in secret corners of their memories, echoes reverberating like the distant thunder, urging them to forge their paths. Their world, racing untamed, stands just a stone's throw away, always tempting and yet yielding to the comfort of stone and discipline. Safety housed in structures built by tireless hands. As the whetstone continues its dance against the gladius, I find each stroke takes on a new meaning, like a soothing lull, knitting together the fabric of my thoughts from fragmented threads into something integrative, a tapestry where I am woven tightly and yet remain aware of the pull of each loose end that signifies the lives beyond the wall. The storm wails gently, swirling above like a soft shroud, blanketing my own contemplations in quietude. As the night deepens, I lose myself in the intimate connection to the blade, tracing its outline with my fingertips, feeling the contours and grooves become familiar under my touch. This is not just a weapon, it is my anchor, a tangible reminder of my duties etched in every scratch and scar, a narrative of survival intertwined with resolve. Life unfolds within the quiet corners of a tent where shadows twist and turn, dancing at the heart of a solitary soldier's contemplation. The flickering oil light glimmers softly, illuminating the contours of my calloused hands, hands that have known both the gentle caress of a lover and the cruel bite of war. Each scar tells its own story, an intimate testament to the journey. And as these thoughts wash over me, I allow the shadows to stretch and shape into reflections of the lives that surrounded me both then and now. Here is where I can feel the pull of history, of choices made and paths walked away from, wrapped in threads of nostalgia interwoven with the present, a subtle reminder that time, like the rain, flows continually, quietly. As I pause in this moment, the echoes of home become almost tangible, abundant warmth swirling my thoughts, dancing amidst the shadows within, creating an intricate landscape as vivid as any sunset. I find solace in knowing that beyond any wall there are countless hearts beating, countless lives lived, all tethered by memories, and in these musings, I find myself filled with an overwhelming gratitude. Gratitude not only for the men who slumber close by, forging bonds amidst toil and tribulation, but for the chance to be part of something larger, something that stretches back through the ages, echoing with our ancestors' whispers. The rain's melody lulls me into a trance-like stillness, unfurling slowly like petals blooming under a moonlit sky. I cradle my gladius, feeling its familiar heft, and allow my thoughts to drift like fallen leaves borne upon the gentle current of contemplation, leading me softly toward surrender. As the whetstone glides along the steel once more, I surrender to the embrace of quietude, feeling my heart align with the steadfast rhythm around me, grounding me firmly amidst the stillness of the night. The soft glow of the lamp illuminates the contours of my gladius, casting a warm golden hue over its polished blade. In this flickering light, I can see how it gleams with promise, every reflection whispering of the battles fought, the oaths sworn, and the ideals we strive to uphold. The gladius is more than a weapon. It is a tangible embodiment of my loyalty to Rome, a declaration of my honor and bravery as a soldier of this vast empire. In its presence, I feel a heaviness that is not merely of steel but of history, lives touched by its edge, mistakes that haunt, and futures yet to be shaped. Each scratch upon its surface tells a story, and it rests heavily in my hand, echoing the weight of my commitment. Around me, my comrades sleep in peaceful exhaustion, lost to the world of fatigue and requiring respite from their burdens. Their quiet breaths rise and fall, a steady rhythm entwined with the soft murmur of the rain outside. In the stillness I can hear the faintest whispers of their dreams drifting through the canvas walls, a blend of aspirations and fears, hopes and memories. It reminds me of the delicate balance of night, this perfect equilibrium between vigilance and surrender, a peace just fragile enough to shatter with the first crack of dawn. The distant sounds of thunder thrum in the atmosphere, low and rolling, a reminder of nature's power that reverberates through the air despite the shelter of my tent. Each rumble resonates like the echoes of past battles, stirring something deep within me, and yet, in that chaos, I find solace. The rhythmic falling of rain against the leather recalls my own heartbeat, steady and constant, urging me to breathe, to let go of the tensions that twist within my mind. These moments are precious, imbued with a quiet introspection that binds me to my humanity, anchoring me in the midst of the wilderness and uncertainty. As I run my fingers along the smooth edge of the gladius, I let my thoughts drift to the faces of my family. I see my mother in her kitchen, sunlight spilling through the window, flickering shadows dancing upon her hands as she kneads dough for bread. The laughter of my younger siblings fills my ears, a melody of joy that intertwines with the scent of freshly baked goods wafting through the air. A simple memory, but rich and textured, grounding me even here in this rough encampment. The dampness of the night hangs like a soft veil around my shoulders, enveloping me, whispering promises of renewal, cleansing the remnants of weariness from my spirit. I lift the whetstone once more, feeling its familiar weight in my palm, the rhythmic motion of gliding it against the blade, slow and deliberate, unraveling my thoughts. Each stroke becomes meditative, each pass a quiet promise to sharpen not only the steel but also my resolve. The soft rasping sound grounds me in the present moment, offering a sense of purpose as tangible as the blade itself. In these hours of solitude, I contemplate our place at the very edge of the empire, where the wilds stretch far beyond the horizon, where chaos and unpredictability dwell just out of sight. What lessons lay hidden beneath the ancient trees, in the songs of the rivers that carve their paths through the land? I cannot help but wonder about those who live beyond Hadrian's wall, the men and women who traverse the untamed hills and forests. Do they yearn for a structure as we do, or have they embraced the wild freedom that lies in the uncertainty of their lives? The faint scent of damp earth mingles with the oily warmth of the lamp, creating an embrace of comfort that stirs a sense of belonging within me. My gladius rests now, gleaming, while the whetstone returns to the table, its coarse surface holding the whisper of my intent. Outside the tent, the storm swells into a steady symphony, the numberless raindrops composing a soothing melody that thunders softly in my chest. Even as the night deepens, it guides me toward a serene acceptance, the quiet acknowledgement that chaos exists, but so too does beauty. I let out a slow breath, inhaling the mingling aromas, and as the subtle fragrance of rain fills my senses, I become acutely aware of the memories nesting in its essence, the scent of the earth before rain showers the fields back home, the invigorating freshness that precedes the downpour. Each droplet against the tent reverberates with the rhythm of distant storms, reminding me of the seasons of my life that have shaped me into the man I am today. As I gaze at the flickering oil lamp, I note how its light creates a cocoon of safety, surrounding me with warmth that contrasts with the chill of the rain-soaked world outside. Shadows sway upon the tent walls, twisting and merging like whispers of past heroes, legends that echo through the annals of time, guiding us in our perilous ventures. Though the legends speak of strength and valor, tonight they also speak of vulnerability, the understanding that it is only in stillness that we truly learn to know ourselves. Through the canvas I catch a glimpse of a distant flash of lightning, a quicksilver trickle in the dark, illuminating not only the night but also illuminating thoughts I hold close. Within that brief flare, I see flickers of my own aspirations, the ideals that fuel my heart. The ambition to be brave, to stand firm despite the tempest, to uphold the honor of my ancestors, and respect the stories that create the fabric of my existence. My gladius, a sword that has served and will continue to serve, becomes emblematic of not just the path ahead, but also the journey behind me, the home I have left in search of glory, the brothers who fight by my side, as well as the quiet moments, like these, that knit us together. In this jungle of chaos, I can create my inner rhythm, shaping my resolve alongside the sword's edge, until dawn's light flows inexorably through the seams of my thoughts like the first rays seeking warmth at daybreak. Suddenly a profound gratitude washes over me as I ponder the bonds forged amidst the torrents of rain, those men who lie beyond the thin canvas walls. They share not just in the struggles of war, but also the quiet comforts that come with camaraderie. Together we weave our existence into something more resplendent, a tapestry of shared dreams and fears, sewn together by the threads of our dedication toward a common cause. I realize this is not merely about surviving the night's trials, nor guarding the Roman borders. It is about cultivating those moments of stillness that connect me to my brothers, reminding me that I am never truly alone, even in solitude. As the rain begins to soften into a gentle patter, I take a moment to absorb it all: the flavors of oil, the musk of earth, and the distant symphony of the storm, all intermingling within my thoughts. My fingers graze the polished surface of my sword, feeling that ever-present connection to my choices, my heritage, and my hopes as I recenter my focus on the present. With my gladius gleaming once more, and the rain's lullaby serenading the entrance of sleep, I find solace even amidst the chaos. I take a deep breath, inhaling the perfumes of land and memory, and slowly allow the murmurs of the night to wash over me, surrendering to the calm of my sanctuary. Tonight, I rest not only with the promise of dreams but with the steadfast spirit of the Roman legion, and the warmth of home cradled gently in my heart. I embrace the night, anchored deep within the heart of the empire, while cradled in the arms of slumber, unworried by what waits beyond the dawn. The quiet surrounding me forms a cocoon, a sanctuary where thoughts of my home drift like leaves on a gentle breeze. As the rain continues to fall, it taps softly at the canvas walls, each droplet contributing to a symphony only nature can compose. The steadfastness of this rhythm resonates within me, wrapping me in warmth despite the chill of the damp air. The world outside, shrouded in darkness, remains a distant hum, a perpetual reminder of the wild frontier that lies just beyond my tent, a reminder that often makes my heart ache and yet offers a strange comfort. For it is here, amid the silence, that I reconnect with the essence of who I am. In this tranquil embrace I can almost hear my father's voice, a gentle echo from my childhood. He was a man of integrity and resolve, standing tall like the oaks that thrived on the outskirts of our village. Each lesson he imparted has been carved into my being, sculpting the man I've become: discipline, honor, courage. These qualities shine like beacons as I navigate the uncertainties of our encampment along Hadrian's wall. With every brush of the whetstone against my gladius, I can feel his teachings unfurling in the quiet corners of my mind, guiding me as I veer close to melancholy, steering me back towards gratitude. The faint smell of wet earth fills my senses, mingling effortlessly with the oil from my lamp, a blend so rich and inviting that it draws me closer to my memories. It seems odd how something so inherently natural can create a bridge to my past. I close my eyes, and allow the sense of soil and rain to seep deeper into my thoughts. I can almost see our simple home in Tuscany, nestled within a field lush with golden grains and vibrant wildflowers. My mind wanders through that cherished place, and I envision my father kneeling in the garden, his hands burrowed deep into the fertile earth. The sun would hit his brow, illuminating a look of pure contentment, a canvas of focus and serenity. He would often whistle a tune, a melody infused with love and laughter that seemed to dance on the wind, reminding me that every moment, no matter how mundane, carried its own beauty. I find solace in this memory as the patter of the rain morphs into the gentle rustling of leaves, creating a backdrop for my thoughts. I imagine my mother hunched over a pot of simmering farro, the aroma of fresh herbs and vegetables swirling through the air, wrapping around me like a warm blanket. It evokes a yearning in my heart, a longing for the simple pleasures of home, for the laughter that echoed from our door, the warmth of family gatherings, and the unspoken understanding forged in shared moments. Outside, the distant clash of thunder rolls softly like a warning bell in the night, a reminder that nature does not yield to our desires, that chaos looms even in tranquility. It reverberates within my chest, a familiar and rhythmic pulse. We live on the edge of the empire, and I, as a soldier of Rome, am tasked with the duty of protection against the elusive shadows that whisper from beyond the wall. Yet, here in my sanctuary, I can breathe through that uncertainty. I draw the air laden with moisture deep into my lungs, holding it for a brief moment before releasing it, a visible puff against the cool night. In that instant, I embrace both my role as protector and my responsibility as a man shaped by the serenity of home. In these precious moments of solitude, I find strength in the connection I share with my comrades, resting just beyond the canvas walls. They too are wanderers, seekers of honor and purpose, bound by the fragile thread of destiny woven through our shared experiences. Their steady breaths form a soft cadence, echoing the very heartbeat of our collective resolve. I imagine their dreams entwined in this same dance of shadows and light, finding comfort in the knowledge that we stand together on the precipice of uncertainty. Though we share laughter around the fire and stories under starlit skies, it is our unspoken understanding that truly binds us, that informs our actions across this unforgiving landscape. With each stroke upon the blade, I ponder the harmony between vigilance and surrender. The chaos of the world beyond often fades away, allowing me to immerse myself wholly in this moment of reflection. I have seen battles rage, the noise, the confusion. But tonight, solace reigns and clarity unfurls like the delicate petals of the flowers we planted back home. As the flickering light of the oil lamp dances against the walls, casting warm hues upon my gladius, its glimmers of purpose reflect my own aspirations. Each reflection speaks not only to my duty but also to the man I desire to be, a guardian of those I hold dear, a protector of the ideals that formed the very foundation of our civilization. The whetstone glides with ease, and I lose myself in the uncomplicated rhythm, letting my worries float away like autumn leaves caught in a gentle breeze. Our fears and burdens carry weight, but amidst this ritual of care, I carve a space for introspection. I find solace within the tactile connection of stone against steel. There is a comfort in the familiar texture beneath my fingers, a reminder that I am not alone in this endeavor. My thoughts circle like the fog that rolls in from distant hills, each one more elusive than the last, yet all rooted in the act of sharpening both my weapon and my heart. Just as my father had taken pride in the household we built, I take pride in the distinct purpose my role here at Hadrian's Wall serves. I begin to contemplate the broader implications of our presence on this outpost. What do our efforts mean for those who inhabit the areas beyond the grip of the Empire? I wonder about the families who make their homes in the wild expanses, the traditions and stories they weave into the fabric of their existence. The world outside is vibrant, chaotic and untamed, yet it is life in its purest form. I pause the whetstone against the blade, considering how our actions shape the mosaic of civilization. Each cut we make, every life we touch, even unknowingly, adds color to a narrative that unfolds beneath the vast expanse of the sky. As I resume my task, the steady stroke of stone awakens echoes of purpose in my heart, granting clarity to my thoughts and anchoring me to the certainty of my path. Should I find myself facing chaos, should the thunder roar louder than before, I trust in the teachings of my father, in the strength of brotherhood forged in shared resolve, and in the warmth of home that dwells within me. Peace rests in the quiet corners of my mind like morning dew upon the vibrant blades of grass, and with it, I embrace the knowledge that I belong, rooted in the past, intertwined with the present, and forever part of a future that remains unwritten. The storm rumbles on, yet my heart finds a certain rhythm against its wild beat. I take one last look at the gleaming blade, and I feel a quiet sense of rest wash over me. My thoughts drift like flickering shadows cast by the oil lamp, fragile and ethereal yet rich with meaning. And as I let the waves of sleep begin to pull me under, I cherish the delicate balance of safety and risk, the peace found within companionship, and the quiet longing for home. Tonight, I am a soldier, yes, but I am also a son, a father-to-be, a brother, and a keeper of dreams. A wanderer seeking the solace of sanctuary amidst the vast and untamed wilderness. As I sit beneath the simple canvas of my tent, the rain continues its rhythmic patter against the leather, each droplet becoming a part of an eternal song that weaves through the tapestry of night. Though the stars remain hidden behind clouds heavy with water, I can sense their presence lingering just beyond my reach. It's a comforting thought, one that gently wraps around my heart, a reminder that even in darkness, there exists the promise of light, waiting to pierce through the shadows, much like the flickering flame of my oil lamp. The air inside my small sanctuary is thick with moisture. It has enveloped the wool of my cloak, leaving it damp yet somehow soothing, like a familiar embrace. The musky scent of wet earth mingles with the warm, slightly oily aroma from my lamp, creating an atmosphere that feels sacred in its intimacy. It allows me space to breathe, to contemplate the delicate balance of existence, a life spent on the fringes of an empire, grappling with the weight of duty against the tender pulls of memory and longing. As I run the whetstone along the edge of my gladius, the blade responds to my touch with a familiar coolness, a smoothness that speaks of the countless hours spent tending to its well-being in stealthy reflective moments such as these. Each stroke against the steel is a meditation, a rhythmic confession of both my fears and hopes. I feel the stone's texture shift under my fingers, a gentle grittiness that embodies the life I lead, one filled with grit, yet still holding remnants of tenderness. The gentle friction serves as a reminder that even amidst the dangers surrounding us, I possess control over something, however small. The tool of battle becomes a conduit of thought, enabling me a passageway into the man I strive to be. The rain beats down, a steady heartbeat that syncopates with the quiet thoughts in my mind. It whispers secrets of a future yet unwritten, tales waiting for bravery and honor to reveal their shapes. There is comfort in the uncertainty. While the world outside is marked by chaos and the threat of conflict, here, within this moment, I find clarity. The sound of each drop breaks against the leather, mingling with the echo of thunder in the distance. It's a soothing reminder that I am not alone. Nature holds vigil over my struggles, painting a backdrop of humility against my restless spirit. I close my eyes briefly, surrendering to the encompassing sounds, allowing my thoughts to drift back to home. The radiant fields of Tuscany spread out in my remembrance, an ocean of green grass swaying gently in the summer breeze. How the light would graze the blades of grass, casting glimmers that danced like fireflies in the dusk. In my mind's eye I see my mother standing near the hearth, stirring the farro, her gentle face illuminated by the golden glow of a flickering flame. The aroma of her cooking fills the air, warm and inviting, a fragrant echo of my childhood that comforts me more than I can express. It is in these memories that I draw strength, feeling the warmth of familial love wrap around me like a well-worn blanket on a chilly evening. The distance that stretches between this rugged fortification and the soft embrace of home feels immeasurable, yet my heart clings to the hope that one day I may return to those sun-drenched fields. Each caress of the whetstone against steel brings me closer to the notion that my service is not just for glory or power, but for the continuation of that love, a love that endures even through stormy nights and whispered fears. As my thoughts entwine with the rhythm of the rain, I find myself pondering the legacy tied to this gladius, the stories it carries within its steel. Each mark along its blade tells a tale, unspoken yet deeply felt, of comrades lost, of battles endured, and of a bond formed under the very same canopy of stars that now eludes me. I think of my brothers in arms, of their laughter mingling with the salt of tears shed in remembrance of lives lived and lost. Out there, beyond our thin canvas walls, they fight not just for duty, but for one another, for the dreams of their families, their lovers, and their own cradled hopes. I am part of something larger, a greater history that intertwines our fates beneath an ever-watchful sky. A cool breeze slips through the flap of the tent, delicately brushing against my skin as though the universe is sharing in my reverie. The mingling scents of rain-soaked earth and oil create an atmosphere of poignant nostalgia, and I find myself retreating deeper into my thoughts. I reflect upon the teachings of my father, whose voice still resonates within me as though he is guiding my hands even now. He taught me the essence of duty and honor, to be both a protector and a scholar of life. Much of my perspective is a mosaic formed by his words, pieces shaped by experience and care. In these moments, I strive to merge the soldier within me who wields the gladius, with the son who carries the unwavering legacy of home. With each stroke of the stone, I imbue my blade with intention, seeking to hone not only its edge but my very own resolve. Each pass reverberates through my being, fueling a quiet conviction that encompasses both vulnerability and strength, reminding me that even soldiers harbor dreams beneath their armor. The droplets cascading against the leather now feel like tiny affirmations, whispers of reassurance against the backdrop of uncertainty, reminding me that I am exactly where I need to be, marred yet ever reaching toward the light above the storm. As the rain continues its gentle serenade, I find solace in the idea that even here, amid the hum of anticipation and unrest, moments of reflection and contemplation can wash over me like the refreshing rain itself, invigorating and renewing. This small sanctuary becomes a sacred space where I can breathe, where I can acknowledge the friction of existence and its myriad sensations without fear or hesitation. Slowly I come to accept that the gladius too is a metaphor for transformation. Though it may be forged in fire and conflict, it serves multiple purposes. It is a weapon, yes, but also a reminder to embody the virtues my father instilled in me as I tread the fine line between soldier and man. It becomes an anchor, a tool to carve my future in a landscape that remains ever-changing. In these tranquil moments, I see the silhouette of the man I aspire to be. A protector, a dreamer, a faithful son, with thoughts swirling and bringing forth a deeper understanding of my place in this widening expanse. I take a breath, the kind that fills my lungs to brimming with intention and purpose. The weight of my gladius is no longer heavy, rather, it sits comfortably in my hands, a steadfast companion as I navigate the waters of my heart. The rain outside mingles with the distant grumbling of thunder, weaving both disquiet and calm into a spellbinding anthem that calls for surrender. And so, as I return to give my gladius the last few strokes of care, I invite the rain's song to settle in my heart. In this wet embrace of night, I remind myself that regardless of the unpredictable storms or tempests that may arise, within me lies the spark of resilience. The blade gleams now, a reflection of my own sense of hope, sharpened and defined against the canvas of my aspirations. I carry forth into this darkened night the essence of my family, the strength of my comrades, and the eternal promise of tomorrow, as the rain continues to fall, gentle and unwavering. The rain becomes a symphony above my head, the raindrops composing complex rhythms as they collide with the leather roof of my tent. Each patter is gentle yet urgent, a reminder of the wildness beyond this modest sanctuary. The sound is soothing, creating an intimate dialogue with the elements, as if the storm and I engage in a quiet conversation, my thoughts a chorus that reverberates against the canvas, muted yet resonant. In this cocoon of fabric I find shelter not only from the rain but from the complexity of the world that sprawls in every direction just beyond the fabric walls. The scent of fresh rain permeates the air, alive and earthy, rich with the promise of growth and renewal. As it filters through the small openings in the tent, it mingles with the warmer, nutty aroma of the oil burning softly in my lamp. I let the fragrance engulf me, each inhalation a reminder of home, of the simple joy found in tending to a fire and gathering around it with family. It evokes memories of cool evenings spent beneath the Tuscan stars, the fragrance of herbs from my mother's garden wafting in the wind as laughter danced through the air. It is a bittersweet memory that makes my heart ache in its absence, yet fills me with warmth as I sit in the present, surrounded by the unyielding strength of my fellow soldiers. I gaze through the faint haze of rain-soaked canvas, my mind's eye drifting beyond the flickering glow of the lamp, imagining the silhouettes of my comrades, each one with their own dreams and burdens. They lie scattered around us, their breath rising and falling like the gentle swell of the tide, a steady rhythm that calms even the most restless of spirits. In their dreams, I wonder whether they hold onto glimpses of home, whether they too are transported to fields embedded in sunshine, or swaying with a sea of wildflowers. I hope their dreams offer them respite from this labor we share, as fleeting moments of peace are ever more precious in this life of duty. As I continue the soothing back and forth motion of the whetstone against my gladius, I feel the familiar texture between my fingers, rough yet satisfying. The gritty sensation is grounding, anchoring me to this moment amidst the chaos that rumbles ever so gently on the periphery. I can hear the low, persistent sound of thunder echoing in the distance, an elemental force intruding, yet somehow comforting in its own way. The walls of our encampment may shield us, but nature remains an omnipresent reminder of the world's vastness. The solidity of my blade reflects not only the steel's inherent strength but also the indomitable spirit within me, my identity as a soldier, a protector, held steadfast against the currents of uncertainty that swirl like the storm outside. With each stroke of the stone, I hone not just the gladius but a part of my very essence. The repetitive sound of metal sliding against stone is lulling, an auditory embrace that invites calmness, affording me space to reflect on the uncertainties of my purpose. What is it that binds us here, each of us men molded from different backgrounds, speaking various tongues? We are held together by the notion of service, the fibers of loyalty intertwined with shared experience. Do we find strength in our differences, or solace in our shared plight? These questions rise gently to the surface of my consciousness, like the mist curling in the chilling night air, ethereal and slightly elusive. In moments like these, I think of the way life breathes in layers. Each layer is built upon countless experiences. The laughter I shared with my brothers, the lessons of resilience born from the hardships of training, and the camaraderie that envelops us in the stillness of night. Those moments of levity, of heartfelt connection amid the rigorous demands of our lives as soldiers, are my refuge. They remind me that even in the darkest hours, there is light to be found in the bonds we forge, tender flickers keeping the shadows at bay. The interplay of shadows cast by the lamp's flame dances across the walls, ghostly figures that rise and fall like fleeting memories. I pause, peering intimately at the silhouettes of my comrades, some turned toward the warmth of their dreams, others lost beneath the burdens of thought. There is solace in witnessing the vulnerability they lay bare, even in slumber. I am grateful for the depths of vulnerability we permit ourselves amid these trials, acknowledging the shared burdens that both connect and strengthen us. Perhaps it is the weight of my gladius that often reminds me that we tread a thin line between strength and fragility. Holding it is reassuring yet also a humbling experience. It urges me to weigh my intentions and actions. As each year of training compiles upon the last, I contemplate the lessons hidden in every journey I take, a journey not only across the breadth of foreign lands but also in exploring the crevices of my own heart. With the rain continuing to bathe the world in its gentle embrace, I carefully wipe the blade clean, each stroke serving as a metaphorical cleansing of my thoughts, exfoliating the uncertainties away as I prepare for whatever dawn may bring. There's beauty in simplicity, and in these intimate moments, I find comfort in the universality of soldiering, the deep connection that transcends the individual. Outside, nature pours herself forth, indefatigable and wild. Inside, curled in the sanctuary of these canvas walls, the scent of rain mingles with the warm glow of our lamp. Heartbeats synchronize into the night, like a subdued heart of Rome pulsing against the backdrop of a quieter world. As the storm's rhythmic melody continues, wrapping itself around the contours of my thoughts, I reflect on the path I've traveled, a soldier's life, filled with sacrifice and dreams tethered to far-off lands. In dedicating myself to the Empire's cause, I have forged a life rich with purpose, yet at times I feel the twinge of longing for the unadorned moments of my youth. Memories withheld like distant stars just beyond my reach. The brush of the whetstone continues its course, grounding my thoughts like roots firmly embedded into damp soil, reminding me of the importance of staying grounded amidst a life prone to displacement. I wish to honor my relationships, the men who sleep nearby, each one a vibrant thread in our community fabric. As their stories intertwine with mine, we construct a tapestry imbued with meaning. The flickering shadows whisper the tales of our combined struggles, resilient toward adversity with collective resolve. Soon, the breath of dawn will greet us, kissing the horizon with light and drawing us back to our responsibilities. So I breathe deeply once more, absorbing the exquisite blend of earthy scents wafting through the tent, a testament to a bond forged through adversity and understanding. As the rain intensifies, I feel gratitude wash over me, gratitude for this moment, for the man I am, and for the clarity that emerges from the depths of the night. I find peace as I surrender to this calm sanctuary, feeling the connection to my brothers in arms surrounding me, their dreams echoing against the canvas, resonant and alive, weaving a gentle path toward hope, as I finally allow sleep to beckon me closer. The soft glow of the lamp continues to dance, its golden light flickering against the tent canvas, casting a warm embrace that quells the chill of the night air. Here I am, Gaius, at the edge of a once bustling empire, a soldier seated in the intimate shadows of solitude and contemplation, cradling my polished gladius close, as if it were a talisman of both my duty and my dreams. The rain thrums against the stretched leather overhead, a gentle symphony that rolls across the dark sky, each raindrop a small heartbeat echoing the larger rhythm of the world outside. With each breath I take in the mingled fragrances that fill this secluded refuge. The unmistakable scent of damp earth rises through the folds of my cloak, intertwining with the warm, nutty aroma of the oil I use to keep my lamp alight. It is a heady mixture, an earthy embrace that connects me to the very land that holds me captive in this moment. The rain, a sweet and relentless serenade, pounds against the roof, urging me to let go of my worries, if only for the span of a heartbeat. The comforting solidity of the ground beneath me reminds me that here, I am safe. Here, I am at rest. As I close my eyes for just a moment, the patter of the rain becomes a lullaby, and I find my thoughts drifting gracefully back to those sun-drenched days in Tuscany. I can almost hear the echoes of laughter and the familiar hum of life that floated through the air, sweet and serene. The scent of blooming wildflowers wafts to my memory, and I can picture my mother, her hands skillfully kneading dough, the warm yeasty fragrance enveloping the hearth. A smile creeps across my lips, a fleeting reminder that though the wildness of the frontier stretches before me like an untamed beast, the warmth of my roots still clings to my heart. As the rain continues its gentle percussion, I refocus on the gladius in my hands, tracing the smooth edge with my fingers, feeling every minute detail of its structure. The steel is cool against my skin, a stark contrast to the warmth of the lamp's glow. I bring the whetstone to the blade once more, and the familiar rhythm begins again, a slow, deliberate glide that soothes my mind as much as it sharpens the weapon. The soft rasp of stone against steel fills the air, harmonizing beautifully with nature's chorus beyond the walls of my tent. I anticipate the sharp gleam that will soon reflect the glow of the lamp, but it is not just the knife's utility that captivates me, it's the dance itself, the act of taking care of something precious, something that has witnessed the trials of life alongside me. I think of the men in slumber around me, their silhouettes cast against the shifting shadows. They are kindred spirits, bound by shared experience and dreams that delve far beyond the horizon. I can feel the calm weight of their presence, a steady reassurance in the midst of uncertainty. Somewhere in that shared silence, their dreams are weaving through the fabric of the night, whispering tales of courage and loss, love and laughter. I am reminded that we are all part of a greater tapestry, threads intertwined, creating a poignant picture of what it means to stand resolute, even when the storm rages around us. Murmurs of thunder roll through the distance, a rumbling reminder of nature's quiet power. It stirs a feeling deep within my chest, a mixture of awe and reverence. Each crack seems to symbolize the strife of our journey. It whispers of battles fought and sacrifices made in the name of duty. Yet, beneath that formidable exterior, I feel a deeper yearning, a longing for connection, for community, for the embrace of family woven into the very essence of my identity. Each rumble seems to reach into my soul, echoing the belief that the storm we endure outside can also ignite the warmth of love and remembrance within. The rain has become a companion, filling the spaces between my thoughts and inviting reflections that drift freely like soft clouds. I am lost in the embrace of the moment, the weight of my armor somehow feeling lighter as I let go of the thought of swords and shields, of strategy and command. Here, I ponder not the blows of war but the tender moments shared under the canopy of stars, where laughter mingled with stories on warm summer evenings, where hope was birthed through the act of sharing the divine mysteries of life, love, and sacrifice. I let the memories roll over me, anchoring me like the earth beneath my feet. In the gentle cadence of the storm, I catch whispers of my father's resolute teachings. His voice fades in and out, like a fleeting breeze, sharing wisdom with every rustle of the leaves in our small orchard. He used to speak of honor and valor, and through the lens of those teachings, I understand that each choice I make here at the frontier offers a new brushstroke to the portrait of my existence. As the moments blend softly into one another, I am cocooned within a sanctuary of dreams, allowing the barriers erected by my daily duties to melt away. The growing hum of rain comforts me, lulling my thoughts to a tender place where peace reigns even temporarily. The gladius slips from my fingers and rests against the earth with a soft thud as my eyelids grow heavy. In this sweet state of drowsiness, I feel the heartbeat of the land around me, the whispers of time stirring in the rhythm of raindrops, inviting me to surrender. Outside, the darkness deepens, merging into an ethereal veil woven with the threads of rain and memory. Our camp lies nestled against Hadrian's wall, an enduring edifice that urges me to know my place within this legacy. From here, I cast my gaze into the night, envisioning the grassy knolls and winding streams of my homeland. I yield willingly to this pull, letting the visions wash over me like the gentle touch of a long-lost embrace. As the storm orchestrates its well-practiced symphony, I find solace in the tiny moments, the glitter of raindrops against the canvas, the warmth of the faithful oil lamp. the smell of damp earth melding with the hope of tomorrow. I surrender to sleep, knowing I stand guard, not only against the darkness outside, but against the shadows of uncertainty that creep upon my heart. Tonight, in this restless frontier, I am wrapped in a tranquil embrace, lulled by dreams woven from love, duty, and the quiet strength of the human spirit. Here, I can rest, letting the world dissolve gently around me, shrouded in dreams of home, bound together by the steadfast spirit of the Legion.